Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper, here in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. And today I'm going to show you the basics of a Tower Pinwheel card. So this card will fold flat for mailing and fit into our regular medium envelope, but it has 4 separate areas that you can decorate. And it will stand up and looks like a pinwheel. So we're going to do just the bones of this card. I taught this card in my Waves of the Ocean class, and this particular card was inspired by one of my team members, Colleen, down in North Carolina. But my ladies, after the class, they asked if I would do a little video on just putting that card together. I'm not going to decorate it or anything. Basically, you would take a 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and cut it vertically. That would give you 2 pieces of 4.25 by 11 cardstock. Then one of those pieces you would cut into 4 equal pieces. So these pieces, there are 4 of them. They are 4.25 by 2.75. So you need 4 of those. And then you also need a piece that is 4.25, would come out of the other side of that card, and 4.25 by 4.5. So the first thing we're going to do is take this 4.25 by 4.5, and we're going to lay it in our scorer. We are going to score this at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So be sure you're not doing the 4.25 side. You're doing the 4.5 side. It should come out here. And we're doing 1, oops. And don't worry about that because you'll never see that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now we have this piece. We're going to take our scissors and we're just going to trim a tiny bit off of these corners of this smaller section. And that is so that when we put this card together, those won't be sticking up above the card. So we'll just cut those off. And then we will fold this on all our score lines. Then we're going to fold this, and I'm going to fold that over so that this little flap is just laying right there. So I'm folding it on the second score line from that little flap, and I'm going to put adhesive on that flap, and I'm just going to use the glue. I love this glue. It dries quickly and it's not runny and watery. And then I'm going to fold on that last score line and just fold that shut. Give it a good press and a second or two, and then it is dry. So now I have a square, a tube, a tower. So this is the tower for our pinwheel. Our next step is just to lay this back down, lay it flat, and we will take our adhesive or glue, I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to put it only on the right-hand side of this tower. So I'm just going to add glue to that. And then I'm going to line up one of these panels with this line, and I'm the left-hand side. So the left edge is going to line right up in the center of that tower piece. And just give that a good press. And then I want to flip this over, totally over. And now I'm going to do the very same thing. I'm going to put adhesive on the right-hand side of the tower. And I'm going to put another panel right there. So our panel that we flipped over is going this direction. And this panel, the excess, is over here on the right. So we have one sticking out this way and one sticking out that way. And when you look at it, it will look like this. So when you look at it, you should have one going one direction and one going the other direction. Now we're going to lay this back down, and we're going to put adhesive on that other piece of the tower. And on this side, our panel is going to go in the same direction as this one. We're still lining up the left edge of the panel and press it down. So these two are now sticking out this direction. Then we're going to flip this over again, all the way over, And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And this one is going to go out the same direction as that last one. So now we have two sticking this way and two sticking out this way. And when we open it, that becomes our tower card. Now you can decorate this however you choose, and you can turn it this way and have your large panels on the right, or you can flip it around and have the large panels on the left. It doesn't matter. I've done both. So with this one, I've done the large panels on the right, and I've done different papers. So the papers are all on these flaps. I did the same paper here, but the ones on the larger panel are different. This is one I did with the plentiful plants and the welcoming window. And then you can see I left one of them just a plain white to stamp my greeting on. So this is the 4 panels of that. And you can see the smaller panels on the left, the larger panels on the right. But the one that we did in class, we did it the opposite. We had the larger panels on the left and the smaller panels on the right. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is turn that card upside down if you want the large panels on the right, or this way if you want the large panels on the left. That's totally up to you. What I did find easiest is if you wanted your papers to match. You see how the paper flows, it's seamless, it flows together. You can tell it's the same piece of paper on this. And the way that we got that was to just cut a 4x4 piece of paper. So imagine these two are together. So this was one 4x4 piece of paper. And then we just cut off 1.5 inches. So we have a 2.5 inch, and that fits over on this side. And then we have, oh, sorry, I guess they went together this way. Okay. And then the 1.5 inch goes on this side. Or if it was turned upside down the other direction, you would cut off the left side. It doesn't matter. So just try to have something that has some white area so that you have a place to put your greeting. Or you could even do like I did in the other card, and you could leave one of your panels just white. You could just do a white panel in there. So that's the basics for this card. This is the Tower Pinwheel card. And it's not that difficult. And I think you can do it. If you put this together and decorate it, I'd love to see what you do. Please send me a picture, or send me an email. You can reach me. My website is www.bluegrassstamper.com, and my email is bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. And I would love to see what you do with this. Thanks. Bye.